Hello there, I'm Kios, the Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to a Ronin review. And on this episode, we're going to discuss Sugar, an Apple Plus TV show. Now, I was introduced to this show by a friend, and I have to say, I am very, very much interested in this show. I'm a big fan of Noir literature, especially old time radio Noir shows. I used to listen to them a lot when I worked a third shift job. So I have to say that this show immediately hooked me in with the atmosphere, as if you felt like you were in an old time detective Noir show or even film. The narration, the cinematography of this show is very, very good. Colin Farrell, he does an amazing job as John Sugar. This show has moments in it where it will take, iconic scenes from older films and mesh it into the show. And a lot of that has to do with Sugar because he's a movie fanatic. And you can get the sense that because of his love for filmography, especially old classical films, he kind of lives his life a little bit like a film, so to speak. He's a private investigator. He specializes in missing persons cases. And you're introduced to him in this black and white scene that feels almost out of the 1950s, but with a modern spin. And the director and the cinematographer do a wonderful job of just creating this atmosphere with light jazz and the dialogue. Damn, the dialogue is good. All of the characters are well written. And one thing that I really appreciate, and I was discussing with my friend at the time, is that the characters feel real. Now, with most scripted shows, everything is scripted. But I think nowadays these modern scripted shows, everything feels like 1, 2, 3. You can feel the okay, they say this, he says that and reacts like this, she does that, he does this. Everything feels so blocky, like you can just feel the steps. But with this show, everything is very, very natural. The conversations with everybody is very natural, and the way people interact is very on par for how people would interact within reality. And if you catch my drift, the show The Gentleman, which I saw the first episode, but I definitely want to rewatch that show. It does a great job as well. That's what's one great thing about. Oh wow, I can't believe I forgot his name, the director. But he directed, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Revolver. He does a great job with dialogue and kind of creating these natural characters that feel very real. Same with Quentin. But this show, Sugar, it does it great as well, but with a Noir sense. Um, they do a good job of capturing like that 40s 50s detective dialect, but with a modern wording, if that makes sense. And the cinematography really does a good job of telling the story. And with John Sugar, when we were introduced to him, he's solving a case in Japan, and you immediately realize that this is not a man to trifle with in his skill set. And it turns out he was working for the Yakuza. So you realize then that he will work for almost, it seems like, just about anybody. You know, if he's willing to work with the Yakuza, then he's, you know, he doesn't, it seems more in the sense of like it's clear when you watch the show that he has a moral compass and code, but he also walks into gray lines. You know, even bad people have family members that they love and care for. So I think it's an interesting philosophy to kind of play around with. A man who, for instance, in one point in the show, his driver is speaking in Arabic and talking about his child, and John Sugar responds back in Arabic and tells his driver at the time, you know, he gives him the name of a doctor, tells him, hey, this is my doctor, tell him I sent you, he'll take care of your daughter. So you realize that he is actually a really good person. There's another scene as well where he's helping a homeless man. It's so earnest and beautiful and authentic. This is a very authentic individual, even though he may clearly have some skeletons and he has some secrets. His authenticity is still prevalent, and the show does a very good job of capturing his authenticity. And I'm telling you, for many people out there, you will not be disappointed with this show. You know, Apple Plus has a lot of really, really good shows. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Apple Plus. But don't doubt it, man. Apple Plus has some really good content. And this show definitely takes the cake for me. The mystery is very intriguing. You know, he takes a job for a very famous director who he is, you know, clearly admires greatly. And it's a missing persons case. It's his goddaughter. So it he ends up taking the case, but we also know he's dealing with a health issue as well, and he wasn't supposed to take this case, especially when potential clients come directly to him, which they're historically not supposed to be doing. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta blow my nose. I am back. Apologies. So yeah, like I was saying, the show, it's just a wonderful show. It's really fun, and you know, like I was saying, you know, he takes his client's case, um, knowing full well he's not supposed to, because his handler, who is the mediator between the clients, you know, when he goes to see her, she pretty much kind of scolds him as like, you know, you know you're not supposed to be doing it this way. And you know, he's like, well, it's this great director, and she's like, you're not even mentally fit for this. But you know, the client's granddaughter reminds him of someone, and he says that to his handler, and you know, she begrudgingly agrees. And she's like, all right, if you're gonna solve this case, you need to take these things. And she gives him a gun, and it's a very famous revolver that Glenn Ford used in a very iconic film. And they sequenced that a little bit of Glenn Ford's with John Sugar. And they do a really good job of doing these cool scenarios like that. So I really recommend people get into this show. The What I really enjoy about the mystery is that we're along for the ride. There's nothing that we know that he doesn't know. So there's no way for me to really spoil the mystery other than, and we'll get into spoilers right now, other than, while he's trying to work on this case, he goes to the girl's car and he finds a dead body in her trunk. And he's realizing, okay, I gotta figure I gotta figure this out before I figure her out. What's missing with her? And at the same time, her half brother, he has someone tailing him. So what is his half brother afraid of? And he's trying to understand what's wrong with him. Why is he having someone tail me? But at the same time, he linked up with the girl's former stepmom, who is this, like washed up rock star who just sings at bars and drinks all day. So you have these three threads that are kind of going on right now, and he's trying to figure out how do they all connect, because in her suitcase she has pictures of her with the former rock star. The brother came to her place while Sugar was there, and no one told Sugar that he was going to be there. And then you have the body in the trunk. So I really like what's going on here. Like I said, the cinematography is wonderful. Next episode, I'll make sure to have the spoiler thumbnail up, and then we'll do more of a deeper dive. But I just wanted to give everyone a light introduction that don't sleep on this show. Colin Farrell, he's killing it in this show, and you can tell that he's very much in his element. You can tell that this was a show that he wanted to do. He's fully invested in the character. All the actors in the show, even the background actors or even the light actors who have very little dialogue, everyone kills it. Everyone is bringing their A game to this show. So I highly recommend everyone, please check this show out. And this concludes a Ronin review. And if you've made it this far, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And please leave a comment on your thoughts on episode 1. What are your thoughts on the plot? Do you have any favorite characters so far? What do you think is behind the body in the trunk? And while you're at it, please sprinkle in a little bit of that constructive criticism, as that helps me and the channel grow. And until next time, stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love.